Okay, so we have a really cool show today. It's with, I'm bad with names. It's actually a Stellar, uh, Fair, Fair, Fairbairn. I know I'm messing that name up bad. I'm sorry, Stellar. Now, she's having a little tech difficulty, so she's rebooting her computer. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this out first, make sure everything's cool. And let me make sure we're up. Okay, we're up. 24 people in the house. Good to see everybody. Okay. Patricia Satchwell, Cricket Holden, Tom Whitebear, my brother, Angel Divine, Denise Chadwick, Judy Heineman, Pamela Johnson, Julie Thomas, Jania Gazda, Sheila Sen, Aiden Douglas. Thank you all for your continued love and support and contribution. So many of you here, and thank you for helping us to keep this thing going. All right, so she's having a little bit of an issue. Hello, Amsterdam, Ashwin Ramadan. And England's in the house. Eternity Morton, Julie Thomas, Catarina de Amor. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on one of her songs, okay, while we're waiting for her. These shows resonate, please share. All right, so let me find it. Here we go. And this one is called Divine Harmony. Here we go. This one's called Divine Harmony. Hello, Nori Love. I'm going to be on Broadcast Team Alpha tonight, which is going to be in about 3 hours on YouTube, live with Aginas, Nori Love, and one of their other associates. So let's get over there, not because I'm on it, but let's get over there and support their new initiative at Alpha Broadcast Team Alpha. This is Divine Harmony by our guest, Stellar. He'll be here soon. She'll be with us soon. For those of you just coming in, this is our guest, Stellar Fairbairn. It's a song called Divine Harmony. I believe you, Pamela Johnson. Let's see if I can see how she's doing. She'll be here. For those of you just coming in, this is a song called Divine Harmony by our guest, Stellar Fairbairn. He'll be joining us shortly. Let me tell you a little bit about her while we're waiting on her. So again, for those of you just coming in, this is a song called Divine Harmony by Stellar Fairbairn, who is our guest today. He's rebooting her computer. She's a sacred songstress, facilitator of inner truth, occasional teacher, visionary healer, evolutionary guide, and facilitator of sacred and high initiatory experiences. She uses sound and frequency to activate and initiate from the lineage of the Magdalene and The Rose. She also performs in the mainstream, however prefers to follow her heart's work in 432 hertz. Here she is. All right, let's see if hopefully this is going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let's finish the song. And I guess. Oh, here we go. And I'll roll it out just a second, or at least play a little bit more. I was reading your bio. She has the ability to sing in the language of light, in many star languages, and also the ability to sing through dimensions, bringing through and emanating star and light codes from her voice. She is an ambassador of both the Sirian and Andromedan High Councils and a representative of 12 of the Office of the Christ Council on Earth. Stellar has recorded at many sacred sites around the world, including the Great Pyramid in Egypt. You can hear some of Stellar's sound work here. Which is at bandcamp.com and www.stellar-music.com. Those links are in the body of the post. Beautiful. We'll, We're going to come back to that. It's a 10 minutes.
Nice
Yeah, this blew my eardrum. Hang on. I can only do, it's the 3D part of me. Let me get back on track here. Hang on. All right. So I just want to be able to see the comments, and we'll come back to the song. We got 85 people in the 85 people in the house. Everybody loved what they were just hearing. We're going to come back to it, and I think we've got another song too we can go back to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So let's formally roll the show out. I've already God, what is going on here? See, anytime we have technical issues, we always have a great show. All right, so that's a great sign. And I'm having something's going on here. I've already had a very dimensionally expanding day with my brother Tom Whitebear. Oh my God, I'm getting lit up over here. Okay, it's what it is. It's the Rose and the Magdalene. That's what it is. The same thing happens when I do something with the Shekinah Rose. Hang on, let me get my breath, Mother Mary. All right. Okay, so
Oh, bless you.
welcome to Soul Speaks 5D. It's a conversation with Stellar Fairbairn.
Very
Today
good.
is that
That's
oh
good.
God, I
Well
destroyed the
done.
name. God, thank you for sharing space with us and honoring us with your presence today. Welcome. I'm glad we got it off the ground this time. Right on.
Finally.
Thank you for coming. How are you today? You look
I'm good,
fantastic.
Todd. I'm really good. I'm really good. I've I've had a sort of a busy mummy day and
Oh yeah.
doing mummy things. I have a 12-year-old, almost 13-year-old daughter called Rosie, and she takes up a
Oh
lot of my time. So I've been doing mummy things today, and my weeks are very varied. I go with the flow.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm working with souls, working with lots of beautiful souls right now, and we're preparing for our retreats this year. So it's quite a busy time. It's like having 10 hats to wear at once.
You know, I have raised 6 children,
Wow.
and not always at the same time. I think there was 2 summers they were all together. But God, I struggle with getting my words out. I'm getting lit up. I'm literally getting lit up. I'm being shown things right now, and this
Oh,
happens
wonderful.
a lot, but not always this intense. So what I was going to say is, it amazes me that people like you can be raising children, and that sounds very 3D-ish during this transition. But at the same time, the more people I talk to about that is the other side of it is how much they're gaining from these kids who are untainted. Their DNA is more aligned, however you want to say it. They're different. They're carrying an energy. Are you experiencing that?
Definitely. My daughter whips my ass. I'm strong, but she's 10 times stronger than I am. So it's kind of like trying to parent the goddess. And there's no instruction manual for that at all. It's literally, it's a complete honor and privilege to have her here. But from the day she looked at me in the eye, straight out of the womb, she knew what she was here to do. And really, it's a great honor for me to witness her and to help her develop, the expansiveness of this world, and to go and see this world, not just sit in the classroom, but to get out there and actually see the planet.
Yeah.
So nomadic education is very much
Mm.
something that I'm looking into and pioneering with several other beautiful women around the world at the moment to create a nomadic classroom for these children, because they're not meant to be cooped up in little boxes. Give them the experience of travel, which is a wonderful, world expander, shall we say, for the
Yeah.
children. I'd love to see more of that. And she's got skills, and she's developing
Well, I guess
those.
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I'm getting whacked, man. I don't know if it's every one of these shows. I've been saying this is it's like reading a book. I feel like every time I do a show, I'm in a session. I'm the client, right? Because I'm getting all this stuff right. And each one of them, it's like they flow seamlessly, one to the next. So I'm getting lit up. You're talking about your daughter. I think she's popped in now too. I don't know what's happening, but I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry, but yeah, I put up a post yesterday, one of those little memes with the colored background, because as things come, that's what we all do. They come to you. You got to put it out there. That's what we're here to do. And I said something like, GMOs, fluoride, chemtrails, et cetera, have no power over me unless I give my power up to them. And I think I was sitting in the park when this happened. I am getting lit up, but I think what happened was I was actually watching these children, and I had just seen some posts as I was just taking some time to myself, talking about vaccinations, talking about the boogeyman in one form or another. And I thought, no. these kids, we have overcome all this stuff. These kids are stronger than we are. They can do whatever the hell they want to. They, which is really us, can do whatever they want to. It's not going to stop us. We've got to disengage from that whole, it's one thing to educate yourself, but it's another thing to inject fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw how as validly righteous it was, that it was keeping that fear loop going. But these kids, I don't see that with these kids. People are like,
it's interesting you say that, because Todd, what you just did there, and inadvertently, was you claimed back your power away from all of that stuff. And of course, Facebook and the internet are wonderful propagators of information, and a lot of it is there to create distraction or to create fear. And really, our role, certainly as parents, is to create an environment that is not that, is a loving, safe, beautiful place for our children to grow and expand and, come home to themselves and come into their hearts and to live from their hearts and develop, what these incredible skills are that they have. It's about being conscious. I remember when Rosie was about 3 years old, she was sitting on my knee and we were watching a movie called The Water Horse, which was about the Loch Ness Monster, but it was like a remake of it with an animated monster, a real life movie. And she was sitting on my knee and she turned around to me and she said, "Mummy," in the most articulate way. She could talk, really well, but by the time she was about 2, but she looked at the movie and she said, "Mummy, we used to live there. We used to live in that mountain area with that lake." And I said, "Really?" So I thought, I'll just go along with it. And she said, "Yeah." She said, "But I was your mum and you were my daughter. And one day you went down to the lake and I never saw you again. And I've been looking for you ever since."
Wow.
And that we were both then in floods of tears. I'll never forget that.
Oh my God.
I'll never forget it.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
So it was really powerful. And there was nothing really else like that, at that time. But that was just an indelible moment that will never leave.
That's like linking, linking the real story. It's Tom Whitebear and I were talking about, today was the first day we'd ever talked on the phone. I don't talk to people. I don't do people so well. I can do it like this, but we had a 2-hour conversation, and he was telling me, he's very good friends with Shakina. They're like brother and sister, and they've had many episodes, mutual episodes or shared episodes, and like Morgan and I have had, basically. And anyway, we were talking, and as he was telling me about some of his stuff, I was getting, like I'm getting now from you, which I believe are shared memories of some sort or something, some kind of super telepathy. And then the same thing happened as I was telling him stuff, and things were actually happening in the physical around me as it was happening, and that's kind of happening now. So I'm getting the impression, I would like to know what you think. I'm getting the impression that this is here to stay. That every day the telepathy is going to be louder and louder and louder until all the BS is gone.
That's it.
I don't mean BS like judging people. I just mean like we can all get naked now. We can all.
Yeah, the monkey mind chatter's leaving, absolutely, with the busyness. So we're going to the stillness. There's quite a lot's happened actually since the beginning of the new year, which I'll give you a quick recap.
Yeah.
So on the blood moon on January the 21st, a congregation, if you like, of priests and priestesses gathered again in the Great Pyramid, etherically, overseen by Isis and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. And Yeshua appeared with the crystalline chalice in his hands, because he's been holding that for the last 2,000 years. And these are the diamond-like codes, which I'm going to come on to, because this is kind of important for what you've just shared. And so he took the chalice and he handed it back to Magdalene. So she is now the chalice holder. She is now leading the way, if you like, that divine feminine consciousness. But she's not doing it on her own. She's standing side by side, the divine masculine. They're walking together as love. Yeah. And to bring the great balance back in that has been so missing, as we've gone through these various epochs of time, trying things in an unbalanced way to get to know and learn, more about the masculine and feminine dynamics within, ourselves and within the planet and the solar system and, of course, the universe. So we have this incredible time now where everything's coming back into balance, and the roles of the divine masculine are waking up and activating with the divine feminine inside them. This is why this interaction we're having right now, our DNA is going crazy and saying, hi, hello, it's you. Gosh, and all the past lives are coming in, and all the teams and everyone that we're, emanating right now are all in congregation here together. So what we have now is this incredible role for the divine masculine to stand up as the protector, as the support, and as the witness to the divine she, the divine her. And I know that's what you do, because I love your posts with you and Morgan and the love that you share.
Thank you. I want you to continue, but I want to, there's something I'm supposed to grab out of here. There's something I'm supposed to grab out of this huge superhighway vortex up here. It's important. I've observed this. And it's interesting because Morgan left, 24 days ago. And it was leading up to that period. There was this, as we journeyed together each day and cohabitated, she could see something happening with the masculine. I could feel it. A dragon jumped into me. Thought I was going to throw up. A lot of things happened. But when she left, I started to really feel it and see it in my work. And I saw the energy come in. And I love that you said in all of us, in the men and the women, yet of course, the for the most part, the males are representing that energy in it is the feminine. Yeah. But what I was getting at is it really was interesting in my work and in my own space and in the ethers as I was observing it, the effect that it had. It was reminded me of when in the late 2015, when everyone started saying mama's home, the divine feminine has landed. And that's what I got. I thought, oh, you know what? Daddy's home. All right. And I was watching it in myself and others in my work and the effect it was having. And it wasn't like, oh my God, it wasn't like a lot of people, projecting or lashing out. I think some of that was going on because of retrograde and all that stuff. But I could see it making an impression on people and making them a bit uncomfortable because we're not used to it. That's what I got out of it. What's your perspective on that? And then please continue with what you're saying.
Well, I think that discomfort just comes from the newness of all of it, and we're emotional beings. We come to Earth with an emotional scale, and sometimes that's a blessing and sometimes it's a curse, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if you're highly empathic or intuitive or sensitive, So I think that's where the discomfort comes from. It comes from the newness. Also, for some people not knowing that they're still kind of living in the past timeline, and there's a new timeline of love available to them. And all they have to do is step in through the heart. Yeah. And that's the main work I do every day, is taking souls back into the heart space and going back through that cosmic stargate of the inner, the high heart and the pearl within, to go into the inner cosmos within, to see the true reality of who they truly are and the magnitude of the spirit and the universal soul that they are. And then that kind of puts the mortgage and everything else into perspective, or the bills and everything else. It's to become that embodied, God and goddess energy within us, and then to walk and live that. And if people forget, it's very easy, because I always say, well, there's only one thing we have to do, and it's really simple, and it's just love. Yeah. It's so simple. It's remembering to be love and to walk as love, and to consciously leave those flowers in our footsteps as we're birthing a new world. And we're birthing a world that we want to bring our children into, because the old systems are just devoid of empathy and compassion and love. And what we're here to do as system busters, if you like, is to come and bring maternal instinct back into mothering. Divine feminine intuition in men and women has to come back. because that deep knowing, or the gnosis that used to be talked about, is that direct knowing from Mother, Father, God.
Can you see all these beings behind me?
Yeah, I think John, my beloved, brought the whole team in.
Oh my God. I feel this is okay. So yes, I'm so happy that we're having this conversation, and but oh yeah, I just this God, this telepathy is just, it's just blown up. I mean, I did a spirit walk. I haven't done a lot of spirit walks since I've been here. Did a couple when I got here on the beach, and maybe one or two more. And I went out and I did a video 3 days ago. I was told, I went to go get some coffee and some breakfast, and I don't know, go across the street, go out onto the rocks into the ocean, and you're going to do a video. All right, but that's really, it was a telepathic. It was different than other transmissions I'd received, and then I think what I put out must have been, it had to have been more of a telepathic thing, less what I was saying. But I'd never in 3,000 plus productions have gotten that kind of response. It was huge, and I know it wasn't me. It was this kind of energy that we have here right now with everybody in this vortex with us. It's something going on, a rapid telepathy or an expanded telepathy or both. But it definitely, I think, coincided with the masculine has landed, fully landed, and now we're, and what you described too, I think is very, very much what's happened too. Morgan talks about it a lot. She said, it looks like she's going to be leading, but she's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a temporary thing. And that's what y'all have been doing, really, leading the way. And now it's hand in hand, but she has the chalice now.
Yeah, that's it.
And
She's holding the
makes
chalice.
sense.
The divine feminine counterparts are holding this energy. And, as I was saying, we need to redevelop the systems on Earth because they've been devoid of humanity for a long time. And so a lot of the work that I'm doing is looking at those systems and seeing how they can be reformed to have love and compassion and empathy within them again. If you like, that goddess walk is not easy. I know a lot of people who, God and goddess together, are walking through the fire, of those systems. And it can be very lonely, but we kind of volunteered upstairs to come down and do this and to go on a solo journey, right?
That's right. Tom and I were talking about it this morning, and it's so funny how you can be talking to somebody and you've had this thing play in your head and you never tell anybody about it, and then you're talking to someone later, it happened with me and Morgan up the road here. We went for a walk one night and I saw this little gray, and the next day she said, when we were walking here last night, there was a little gray right there. I said, I saw him too. Why didn't you tell me? But I was talking to Tom today, and he said, he reminded me, he didn't say it, but it reminded me that the free will that we have actually started before we incarnated. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I remember the meeting. You were up in the front. They had to shove me down the chute. He said, you jumped right up and said, I'm going. And everybody was like, and he said, I was in the back with Morgan going, he doesn't know what he's getting into.
Exactly.
That's exactly what my vision had always been. I remember this big meeting. We were just like rows and rows of chairs, and they said, here's what we need to do. And I jumped up and said, I'm going, let's go. And everybody was like, oh crap, he doesn't know what he's getting into. And I didn't.
Only the brave or the very stupid.
I think you could put me in the second category.
Not at all. Not at all. We all knew, we knew it was going to be tough to come down, because the generation just before us, if you like, our parents, they went through the last phase of probably the darkest hour before the dawn, and then we came in as those kids, as those whatever waivers, first, second, third waivers, and we came into a very toxic environment, of delusion and deception and duping.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
juicing going on, you know, through our different channels of consciousness, right, that are available to us in this physical dimension. And so then, you know, we wake up, we're kind of told over phases who we are and what we're here to do. I think a lot of the time we're not told who we are because our divine innocence protects us, you know.
Yeah.
144 watching. I like that. It's a good number.
Graham,
The whole monad has appeared.
Stephen Kerr says stupid brave. Yeah, I'll take that one. I'm stupid brave. What were you just talking? Oh, yeah, I want to get your take on this too. Another thing that I can barely talk. You're going to have to do most of the talking. But another thing that I feel, or I think gnosis, you know, is that I certainly feel it within myself. The story doesn't matter anymore. Now, nothing in my past in this incarnation, nothing. I would tell anything of my story to anyone, and it at one time, you know, it probably scared a few people, but I'm not going to go out and do that. But my point is, it seems like that energy of that illusion is gone. My attachment to my children is gone. Everything is gone except for in my life, which is what I see as my mission, as I understand it. The missions within the mission is my role as the, I don't know, the face of Soulogy. You know, there's other roles within Soulogy that I don't have, and then my divine conscious union. But everything else seems to have just like, you know, like dust off your shoulders. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it isn't that.
How do you feel about that?
You're absolutely right. It's like for the ones that haven't yet let the past go, the main essence for humanity now is to forgive. And that forgiveness allows you to step into the new stream available to you. But for some people, you know, they've been so badly hurt or they've been badly abused or,
Yes.
you know, their stories would make your hair curl. And believe me, I've heard a lot of those stories. And, you know, I've supported people through various things.
Yeah.
But it's now that new timeline is available to step into when you're ready. No one's going to be left behind.
That's
but
right.
the old story is gone. It really is. Because it was almost like I read a wonderful thing a couple of months ago, and it was like we were trained in the darkness. So we had to go into the darkest of the dark and fight our way through that with our hearts and love and everything else that we were being told is useless, right? And so we had to find out who we truly are in that training in the darkness. And now we've come out of that pothole, if you like, and we're here and we're up in the light. We're in a different dimensional field when we're living from our heart space. And so, yes, the past is very much a place to be left behind because now we're in a timeline of instant karma. Yeah. So if you do something that is not very nice, i.e. if you're causing loss, harm or suffering to anyone, it will come right back at you.
That's instant manifestation. That's everyone. Yeah, everybody was like, I want to get to the point where we have creative instant manifestation, you know, where I can go wiggle my nose and then this pops up. But that's the other side of it. Morgan was talking about that the other day, her and her friend. They're like, you know, you do something, it's going to come right back like that, you know. That's a great. That's great what you said about coming into the space we came into. I was watching, doing some research a couple of days ago, and there was a talk show. I think it was a talk show, and the person was talking about the peacock, and I think it was both a literal thing, but also an etherical type of thing. And they were saying that the peacock ate the most poisonous plants. So it took the most dangerous or darkest or evilest or whatever you want to call it. And it seemed like in the story they were talking about this was their evolution, right? How they became the physical appearance that they have because they took the bitterest root or the most poisonous root. So very similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that lovely phrase, you know, the more painful your journey, the higher your calling. And that is to really go down. You know, for me, I had to do a deep dive. I call it the Magdalene deep dive, where you literally roll up your sleeves and you dive down into that barbed wire lace sewer and you take your light into that place. And that's what you're there to do. And that's what I mean by being real in this life. You know, there's a lot of people in the spiritual community, and I was kind of talking into this last night and having fun with my group. But, you know, we have to realize our humanness. We're here in human bodies, and we're here to enjoy life as well. You know, we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves or trying to achieve all this spiritual mastery. It's like life will give you all the initiations and teachings that you need. Yeah. And part of my role really is a facilitator of that inner truth, you know, because I've done 3 hard initiations to get to what I call exalted love. You know, it's where you can love everything. You love everything. From the darkest of the dark to the lightest of the light, you can exude that love and really that humility and compassion, because everyone is on their journey and everyone's on different levels of initiation. So first of all, you have to die to truly live. And that's a heck of a one. That's the sort of killing of the old personality. And as you say, it's letting the past go and stepping into that new timeline. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one for the human emotional scale. Yeah. And then you have to love the unlovable. You know, the perception of whatever is unlovable in your field has to be loved back into coherence. And then again, you have to forgive the unforgivable, the atrocities on this planet being done to women and children and humans all over the planet. We have to forgive and create a field of coherence for all of this to be elevated up in consciousness, so that the ignorant ones, the ones that have forgotten themselves or forgotten what love is, can remember. And so in those 3 initiations, that creates a huge amount of energy of the dissolution, if you like, of the old personality or the person you thought you were. And it gives you access to a reservoir of strength within the heart. I call it the Christed strength in the heart, where it's, you know, it's an untapped source, and it is unfathomable in its size. You know, that strength is available to all of us. And through siphoning off that strength, we become very soft. You know, there's a real softness that comes from those hard initiations and journeys that we have to walk through. And life will just give those to you. You know, that's not something that you can actively go out and seek. It's like, actually, you know, your life plan's there and your lessons are there. And the more that you meet everything with love and compassion and empathy and joy and praise and gratitude and thankfulness and all the 144 qualities of the heart, you know, those are 144 tools to ascend.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I like the way you explained that. I had something happen. I think it was the night of the equinox, and I talked about. I wrote a post about it, and I talked about it a little bit. The reason I'm bringing it up, though, is because the primary facilitators were Yeshua on my left and Magdalene on the right. And Magdalene really was the initiator if I had to choose between the two, because she made the first move. She put her hand on my heart. She kissed my forehead. But that was some type of something, because they said to me, I said, "What can I do?" You know, and they said, "Well, y'all are doing it." You know, really like speaking in collective, you like you or me, Morgan, whoever, you're doing it. And I said, "But what can I do?" And they said, "Well, find the 3 people that make you most uncomfortable, bring them into your heart, and do it every day. Start with your mother." You know, and I was like, okay, so I get this. But then they said to me, "We're going to show you," I'm putting it into human words, but "we're going to show you the most evil thing or darkest thing you've ever come across," which is something that happened to me about 7 years ago. And it wasn't a person. It was a dark energy that manifested, had a conversation with me. And they said, "Take a look." And I looked. This was Magdalene. "Take a look." And I looked, and when I looked, and then she said, "What do you feel?" And I said, "Compassion." And it just came out. I didn't have to say, "What's the right answer?" It just came out. And that felt, to me, like, I don't know if it was an initiation, but maybe a threshold was secured and crossed. And I think that must be happening collectively, because I know I'm not special in that regard. There's no way.
Well, that's it. You know, there's nothing special. We're all just walking each other home, as Ram Dass said. I love that phrase. And you know, as I said, we will be given different initiations. It's all very subjective. You know, we are the one universal soul having a subjective experience as a human, you know, individuated. But we're going through this billions at a time. Billions of souls are going through this. And kind of what lies at the end of this, it's really interesting that you started the show with claiming back your consciousness, right? You claimed back your consciousness out of all this dirgy stuff that's going around about 5G and everything else, and fluoride and whatever.
Yeah.
And there are other steps to take. You know, the main Magdalene message that kind of comes through this vessel here is about divine sovereignty. And,
Yes.
you know, humanity has been duped into being chattel, if you like, I think is the word, where we've sort of been branded and stalked and traded upon. And of course, all this stuff's coming out now, all the background stuff's coming out. So one of the greatest things that we can do to elevate us up into the ascension process, where we've all walked through our hellfire fury walk. You know, we've gone and walked through the hell realms and we've survived it. Yeah. And we've forgiven it and we've loved it and we've done whatever we've had to do. But we need to resurrect ourselves up out of that place. Now, the new timelines.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we've died that death. We've got right down.
This is multiple consciousness streams. And I'm talking to you and you're giving me something over here, or you're all the same. You're all the same. All of you are the same, the Magdalene, whatever. But that was a big one. That was a huge
divine sovereignty is a resurrection process. Yeah. It's huge. It's a huge deal, and it's something that cannot be done for you. You have to do it yourself. Yeah. So it's an initiation in yourself, in itself, to step up fully and truly as who you are, as a divine sovereign. And what that means is to be completely authentic, but also to claim your soul back from Rome. Because Magdalene and I have a bit of a problem with Rome, as you know, right?
Well, yeah, and you know, I was telling Tom Whitebear this today. Tomorrow I have a day off, and I set that day so I could go get my Hawaii driver's license because my license expired, right? And so I've been getting this information for a while, but now as this particular thing approached, it came in over the last 48 hours. I don't know what to do yet. I know I'm going to, in the end, probably have to follow my higher self, but it's telling me you've got to detach from everything false. And I'm like, okay, you know, you got to have a license to fly, and it can only be like a year expired, so I still have a long ways to go. But and I heard you need to detach. And I said, well, do I get like car insurance? And they're like, you need to detach. You need to detach. And I'm not saying this for anyone else. I'm just saying this because this is what I'm getting. And when you said Rome and what I'm seeing, it's like, because I have specifically been told, do not tie yourself to these lawless laws and these ruleless rules and regulations and these borders that don't exist. Step beyond it. You can do it. And I heard very clearly that it can be done now. And that once people,
you can still, you know, you can still have a license, you can still have a passport, but when you claim your divine sovereignty, you're outside of it and you're inside it at the same time. You're in the 0 point of it.
0 point.
You're 0 pointing the old paradigm with the new. And the way that that's done is by the reintroduction to this planet of divine law, which has not been on the planet for a very long time. This has been a lawless place because legal is not law. Legal is a whole language and divisive, you know, mechanism, shall we say, on the planet to control and obviously to, you know, with the guidance of law and order, but it's been distorted massively. So divine law is back on the planet. The divine mother decrees are back on this planet again. And that happened January 2018. Very exciting when that happened, because we have been living on a lawless planet. We've been living in a legal planet, but legal is not law, and law is not legal. That's a bit of a head shifter, that one. But
so what you're saying is to take I get it. So to take the legal into the 0 point, you're merging polarities. You're merging the truth with the illusion, in the same way we would look at the beast or whatever.
Dark and the light, yeah.
With compassion, and so now I can go, thank you for helping me. Now I can go get my license.
Yeah, you can get a license, renew your passport, whatever. But when you claim your divine sovereignty on paper, and there's a way to do that. So if anybody's interested, they can message me afterwards, and I'd be delighted to do yours, Todd, as well. We have a whole team that do this. So we will we'll put you in touch with the team, and it just means you're claiming back your soul, you're claiming back your bloodline, past, present, and future.
Yeah.
So you are going literally to Rome and saying, actually, you don't own me. You don't own my soul.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Was it me or is it her that just went out? Let me see. Let me see. Okay, who froze? She froze. Okay, let me tell her. Okay, she's probably. Oh, there she is. She's coming back. Okay, all right, we're good. She's good, isn't she? Okay. They cut her off. She's probably right. Isn't that something? Well, we're making progress here. Absolutely phenomenal. Here she comes again. Let me get this one off. And all right. Okay, let's see. We can't see you. If you can see me and you can hear me, go. I would say get out altogether. Close out your Google, and because I think let me try this one. We've got 3 of you trying to get in here. Wait. Yeah. I think what you need to do is go out, close it all out, and I mean close Google Chrome out. Go open Google Chrome, go back to Facebook, go back to Messenger, click the link, and see if that works. Oh, here she is. She's back. Okay, we got you there. Hang on. Okay.
We're flying over the target, Todd.
You know what? Man, I'll tell you what, I'm fired up now. I know it. I can feel it. I can feel what's happening. And, I've had my instances, and I don't talk about it, where people will be like, oh, they're looking at me, or I know I have. I just never talked about it. But because I don't want to give them any power, I'm like, bring it on, which is that brave, stupid thing. but over time, it's become an invincible field. And now that there's 2 or more gathering, so if that's the best shot you got, Right,
God love them. We love them. Like, go away and leave them alone.
Thank you for playing the role that you played. Thank you for that piece of you that's in me, because I am you and you were me, right?
Yeah, and when we create that love field, there is sometimes interference. It's interesting because this brings me to an important point after the divine sovereignty thing that we were just talking about. But my life's work, as my soul mission, is to create synarchy. And synarchy is divine, collective, harmonious rule. So it takes out the equation of one monarch, if you like, or one president or one prime minister, and creates all of us as sovereigns, where we walk together and we create elders and trusted individuals within our communities to make the tough decisions and the experiential decisions that need to have that wisdom. So we have the wisdom keepers coming back. And then there's not the hierarchy anymore. It's like we're like the beehive, and the queen bee is all of us. We're all
Yeah.
queen bees in this particular hive, right? So, but the level of support that's needed to create synergy, and you mentioned this magic word, is invincibility. And it's about emanating this invincibility and actually really, really walking in that place where you got to die to truly live, or you do not care if you live or die for your cause, because all we're going to do is go home. If they kill us, we'll just go home, right? So it's like, okay, let's go home.
I know, isn't that right? Isn't that right? See, that's what I'm getting at. And quick. I remember when I first woke up and I was given the name Soulogy, and I'm like walking on the streets, typing in a flip phone, and just doing my thing. And I remember I would write all the time, I'm prepared to die for the truth. I'm prepared. And people would be like, why do you keep saying you're going to die? And I'm like, no, I don't know why it's coming out. It just came out. But this is a great point you're bringing up too. This is where I was at a couple of days ago when I went out and did that spirit walk on the ocean. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm not buying any of this movie going on. I'm not buying QAnon or Trump or the Queen or anything, any savior or any threat. You know what I mean? I'm not buying any of it, because what's changed? Nothing's changed. Because the truth is, if there was a leader that had even regional capacity or regional awareness of that leader, and they had a microphone and the ability to have one press conference and get worldwide coverage, or at least regional coverage, and they just stood up and said, I am freaking divinity. You cannot kill me. This is what's been going on at the Vatican. This is what's been going on here. Why wouldn't you do that? So I don't trust any of them. I trust me and you, and I trust our brothers and sisters at 99.99%. That's where this is at, Well,
the outward world is where we're going, that old timeline of giving our authority out to other things and stepping into the inner authority. That's the inner royalty within, that divinity that's in all of us.
Yes.
And there's different ways to get there. We're all on our own little individual paths. But once you come home to the heart and the truth of that divinity, of who we all are as divine beings walking this planet, then yes, the outward distraction is just a distraction, really. At the end of the day, there's other things to do it.
It's all distraction. Secret space, runaway civilizations, bases on the moon, Mars, whatever. Who cares? I don't care. And I'm the same with, I don't get wrapped up, in these, in the past lives, and the relevance is here. It's Stellar, it's Todd, it's the people here. This is the only time I'm going to get to be Todd. So now that I know I'm a divine human being, it's time to kick ass and take names. Let's go.
That's it. And our dear sister Grace Solaris would totally agree with you there. She's like, it's kick-ass time.
Yeah, I love Grace. That's right. You got so much Mother Mary on you, I'm afraid to use the curse word. But Grace does too. She almost disappeared the first time we did a show. Literally,
I saw that. That was extraordinary.
But as soon as she dropped a couple of F-bombs, I think one time I was at Sedona, I did a show, and it was before, and I had a beer in my hand. She said, "Oh, you're drinking a beer? Good for you." And then she was like, these fucking people that I ran into today, and then I had to heal them. But she was talking about somebody gave her a hard time, when she dropped an F-bomb. But she's so cool, man. Yeah. You guys are really close, right?
Yes, we're in the same monadic field of the same council of 12. Actually, Grace is in the same council.
Wow.
So we carry, if you like, we're the DNA of our DNA carries the ancient wisdom and various downloads and things. It's almost like we're these catalysts. So when people come together with us, they're transformed into a different space, and there's a whole new field available to them to rise into. And Grace and I'll be going to Scotland together. That will be so amazing. We've got a lovely group.
She told me about that.
Yeah, there are really beautiful souls stepping into that. We've got 33 beings as we go and reactivate the lands there, and the stones. 33. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna have to get somebody to carry a camera. We're gonna have to broadcast that.
I know. Well, actually, I'd love to put you in touch with a wonderful woman who runs a company called Being Limitless TV, and she is going to come and film us. So if you would like to come along, or at least have her do some live feeds for you, whatever, we
I
will.
would love to. Anyone. There's a lot of stuff progressing with Soulogy and the capabilities and such, but I don't want to get into it. This is about you, but I would love to. If you have someone that will, yes, I'm open to that. Absolutely. And by
I'll
that
put you in
time,
touch with her after the show. Yeah, I will.
when is this occurring?
We start our journey on the 30th of June, and we culminate it on the 8th of July.
Yeah, that's perfect. By then, well before then, we'll have 24-hour channel running. So we'll have, with the goal being 24-hour live all day long, every day from around the world. So yeah.
Pure consciousness, the stream of pure consciousness. I love it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's been a long road, but yeah, this is great. So tell us about, I don't want to run out of time. We've got another show in 30 minutes, but we can go. If you're okay with it.
Yep.
So tell us about your, the music. Did the light language come first, or?
Oh yeah, the light language definitely came first. I was in my bathroom. I was 4 years old. I got locked in the bathroom of my parents' home, and the lock had sort of come off from the inside, and something had wrong with the handle. And I was screaming, "Mummy!" And the next thing, the E sound was starting to resonate around the marble, tiles or whatever was in the bathroom. And I could hear the resonance and the echoing. And then I started to see color. I started to see color associated with the sound. So I started chanting and umming and doing all these things like a 4-year-old would do, but it was more like the ancient priestess of me was coming out at age 4. So I'm going, and all this racket is going on from the bathroom. And my mum's on the other side of the door trying to open it, thinking, what the heck is going on in there? And I'm literally playing with the sounds. You can see all the sounds. I think it's called synesthesia when people can. I don't see it now, but I feel the colors now with the notes and the sounds. But it was so vivid. And it was like this little body was just waking up and activating.
5 years old.
I was 4, yeah.
4 years old.
4. Locked in the bathroom. Very unlikely story, but that's what it was. And then after that, it really, I didn't have anything like that come in. But I remember doing the light language then. That was very much part of the field that I was in. But the light language didn't really return until I was about 29.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it was going to school.
When did the singing come in?
The singing started at school, if you like, where I had a voice. And then after I left school, I did my O-levels, which is what they were called. They're like your sort of exams when you're 16. And I thought, school is just not for me. I'm going. So I did my exams and I left. And I went to work with a record producer as a summer job, and recorded my first track when I was 16.
Wow.
And wrote a load of songs, got into songwriting, and did some competitions and won some of them. And
what kind of genre was it? What kind of music?
It was just pop. Cheesy, good old cheesy pop songs, the good hook, like an earworm,
Okay, can you do one?
Oh, God, no, definitely. Well, actually, I might have a few I can post.
Do you remember a chorus? Do you remember a chorus from one of your bubblegum songs?
No. But moving swiftly along. I got a gig when I was 19.
And so then, and thank you, Carlos.
Yeah. I went on to sing at the Ritz Hotel, and I went on to sing jazz. So jazz was my bread and butter. So Ella Fitzgerald, Cole Porter, all the old wonderful 50s and 60s and 40s jazz. So I sang at the Ritz Hotel in London for my supper with a 21-piece jazz orchestra, which was incredible. And then by the time I think I'd had my daughter, I'd had enough of advertising and jingles and commercial work. I'd done a lot of commercial work before. And this is when the light language and the music really started to happen. And that was around 2008. And I brought my first album of my own heart's work, if you like, in 2010. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. God, it's a lot of energy to take in.
It's
So,
joy.
well, I know it is. So, what do you want to do anything? Is there anything you want to do for on the show that you'd like to do or say? I just want to make
Well,
sure.
it might be nice to bring everyone into their hearts. That's always a lovely thing to do. And I can do a little like language attunement there, and then
Okay.
we can wrap up, Todd, whenever you want. So
I just want
I
to
think,
make sure that yeah, I want to make sure. Okay, go ahead. Do whatever you
all
want to
right.
do.
So if you just everyone watching, put your hands on your heart, just here, and take some nice deep breaths, and just close your eyes and feel your hands rising and falling with each breath, and become conscious of your breath. And then drop your awareness down from your head all the way down underneath your hands into a sphere in the center of your chest. And in this beautiful sphere, visualize a golden lotus flower opening in the sunlight of your spirit. And see all the petals opening fully in the open heart. And take a step up onto the flower itself and smell the fragrance of all the qualities of the heart, of the divine beauty that you truly are. And in the center of the flower is the flame of divine love. Just take a step inside the flame. It won't burn you, but it will burn off everything that is not love from your being. And just allow these flames to soothe you and caress you and to restore you back to your divine original blueprint now. And in the center of this flame is a beautiful golden pearl that is gently breathing with your heartbeat. Take a step inside the pearl and you feel the feeling of home, back into the divinity of who you truly are. And you are surrounded by the most brilliant white light, flecked with opalescent hues of the higher dimensions. And just take a moment to sit here and to rest in your divinity, and to rest in the heaven on earth that is the heart. Ushtanamach iramana shanamara shameya malkuta ashtanma ashtanama semaya shemai. And so it is.
So it is.
And so just gently coming out of the pearl into the flame of divine love again, and stepping out onto the golden lotus flower of the open heart. The fragrance is love. And to know that you are deeply, deeply loved. You are deeply lovable. And you are love itself. And so that is too.
That was some powerful shift.
Good way to start your day.
A lot of times when people come on, I don't normally do them because I'm doing other things, and I just connect in that here. But I did that one, and you said, imagine you're surrounded by white light, and I was like, literally, literally. I'm over here. I could when you started it, I could hear them moving around in here too, because that usually happens. Like at night, whenever anything happens, I can hear them like they'll be moving around. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Here comes the team.
Today is I just looked at. I'm looking at the. I'm looking at the date, and it's a 363 today.
Oh.
So it's 3 is the month, 27 is the day. I'm sorry, 393, right?
Nice.
393. And it just turned 609 on my computer. So you can't make this stuff up.
It's a divine gateway for us to have our divine reunion of brother and sisterhood, Todd.
Yes, you're amazing. And Grace, yeah, Grace is yeah, I get that same type of we've always just had that connection, it's just like it's a few others like that. Shakina's like that. Like the first time I ever went on with them, it's just like they entered the room before we even flipped on the thing, right?
Right. The whole entourage arrive.
Yeah,
The entourage.
I'd really like to be involved. I'm still working on my passport. I've got some legal issues. I'm just going to start that here this coming month, get that process going. But so I can't leave the country at this time. Okay. So I still have work to do as far as the zero pointing the legal and the universal
We'll
law.
talk off camera about that, and I'll assist you. I'll put you in touch with some people that can help.
Good. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. And so the music, like we were playing at the beginning of the show, does that, how do you do that? Do you arrange the music or how do you do that?
Well, I've been very fortunate to work with some incredible producers like Craig Pruess, who did the Magdalene Codes album, and he came out to France with us and recorded the whole thing. So what the music is for me is to go out into Earth and replenish Earth with sacred sound through the ley lines.
Yeah.
And this is why I go to Ireland and France and Egypt to do this work pretty much all the time. And of course, Scotland now is a big highlight of this year. So we've got Scotland in June, July, and then I have Ireland again with another sacred songstress, dear Erin Sunova, who's a dear friend. And we're going to do a co-hosting retreat in Ireland, specifically to show people how sacred sound and the voice, the divinity of the human voice and the planet work together in the right frequency.
Yeah. Yes. Much big time intel's coming in here.
Yeah. And then,
sure.
and then, of course, we're doing Egypt in September. We're going back to Egypt in September.
Now, but are you based in Ireland?
I'm based in Northern Ireland. Yeah, I'm right up on the north coast here, near
Yes.
a phenomenon called the Giant's Causeway, which is a beautiful rock formation.
It's a powerful, powerful place there. That's like I knew long before I quote unquote woke up 7.5 years ago, Ireland, particularly the music. And it was like I could go there, transport myself there instantly. Like, even like what you're talking about, the northern part, I know that part, and I researched, eventually. But yeah, so that's a powerful, powerful point on the surface of the earth. That is.
Yeah, but so we've got nodal points in Egypt and Ireland that are on a par. If you come, what's beautiful about Ireland as well is it doesn't have a crystalline grid in certain places, so the history of the earth isn't stored there. And when people come, they just feel the energy of pure Gaia. They feel the pure raw energy of the earth, and that's why they will feel like they've come home. Everyone wants to come home to Ireland because in certain areas it just doesn't have any water memory, if you like. It just is the pure essence of Lemuria, Atlantis. The paradise.
Yeah.
The paradise the earth is.
I can't wait to get there because I want to drink the Guinness.
Yay! Oh, my partner John will be helping you there. He loves his Guinness.
That's the greatest invention ever made, in my opinion. I love it.
The pints of Guinness here apparently are the best in the world, obviously, because this is what.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean that's nothing like a Guinness on tap. I mean, there's nothing like a Guinness on tap. But and then Irish whiskey. Oh my God, I love Irish whiskey.
Well, yeah, we're not too far from about 5 distilleries here. We have the island of Islay and Jura, about 20 miles off the coast, so they both have a distillery. And the Jura whiskey actually has the big ankh on the front of it.
Oh my God, you're kidding! Yeah. I'm gonna need an S.
And then we have Bushmill, we have Jameson's, we have all sorts of distilleries.
Jameson's my favorite one. Yeah.
Come over for a divine tipple, young man.
Yeah, Morgan and we'll be traveling.
Yeah, you're both very welcome. Very welcome.
Yeah, I'll just need a chaperone because she'll probably,
get that passport sorted out.
I will. Yeah. So okay. So all right. Yeah, we should get together again now that we've got the technical part worked out.
I'd love to. There's so much more we could talk about.
Yeah, and I'm putting footage together, and I have been for a long time, but now that it's approaching, I'm putting footage together, videos, MP4s for the channel feed, you know, for the channel feed. So I'd love to, incorporate some of your stuff onto that because it's so.
If you want any music, just let me know. I'll send you my catalog, and you can just choose whatever you like.
Yeah, well, because we got 101 channels, 168 hours in a week.
Wow.
And initially, when we start, it'll be 40 hours. I don't know that I'll do myself 20 or 24 hours every week, but I've got to put the rest of the initial programs together, and what we are going to be investing in is a maximum of about 40 hours a week. So,
Wonderful.
so in the yeah.
Well, I've probably got about 20 hours of music that you can have. So I will get that.
Well, there you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it. Right now, I've got multiple dimensional incoming traffic, and
I'm feeling it. It's actually the background is glowing. It's going white, and then it's not Grace this time. It's you. You're doing it.
I thought the same thing 45 minutes ago, and I actually sit here and I saw myself turn. I saw my screen go white, and I thought, "Oh my God, is this the same thing that happened to Grace?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get together. Okay, I can't. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like get my shift together for this next show in 15 minutes. Thank you so much. You're incredible.
Todd, you likewise, darling. I'm so grateful for you to have me on the show, and I would love to see you again. So we'll talk on as well.
Absolutely.
So, and thanks to everybody who joined us. How wonderful.
Yeah, and put up any links. You might want to put them in the comments too. I know everyone that's on the live and the replay, her link is in the body of the post, but if someone doesn't hear it, you might want to put them in the bottom. Okay.
I will
I'll see you later. You take care.